Samantha had just moved into her new apartment. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was cozy, quiet, and, most importantly, safe. Or so she thought. It started with small things, a feeling, like someone was watching her. At first, she chalked it up to paranoia. After all, new places always felt unfamiliar. But then, she started noticing something unsettling. Every time she looked out her window, she'd see him, her neighbor from across the street, standing in his window, watching her. At first, she tried to ignore it. Maybe he was just looking outside. But then she realized. He never moved. He never blinked. Just watched. One night, she decided to test her theory. She turned off all her lights, making it seem like she had gone to bed. Then slowly, carefully, she peeked out from behind the curtain, and there he was. But this time, he was smiling. She called the police, but when they arrived, his apartment was empty. The landlord told her something that made her blood run cold. The man who used to live there? He had died 6 months ago. Michael and his wife, Emily, had always loved their quiet suburban home. The neighbors were friendly, the area was peaceful, until the scratching started. At first, they thought it was just mice. Soft, faint, scratching noises coming from the walls late at night. But as the days passed, the scratching got louder, more frantic. One night, Michael decided to investigate. He pressed his ear against the wall, listening closely. Then, something whispered, "Help me." His heart nearly stopped. He stumbled back, shaking. Emily ran into the room, asking what was wrong. He didn't have an answer. The next morning, he called an exterminator. When they opened the wall, they found something horrifying. A tunnel leading to the neighbor's basement. And inside it, old yellowed bones. Their neighbor was arrested that night. He had been living there for years, hiding his victims in the walls. Jacob lived in an old apartment building downtown. Most of his neighbors kept to themselves, but there was one that stood out, an old man in 3B. Jacob had never seen him leave his apartment, never heard him speak, never saw him get groceries. It was as if he didn't exist. One evening, Jacob got a letter under his door. No stamp, no return address. Just a single line, written in shaky handwriting. "Don't trust the man in 3B." Chills ran down his spine. He tried asking the landlord about it, but the response made his stomach turn. There is no one in 3B. That apartment has been empty for years. But that night, as Jacob locked his door and crawled into bed, he heard something. A soft knock coming from 3B. Tina had always been wary of her next-door neighbor. He was quiet, reserved, and had an eerie way of staring just a little too long when they crossed paths. But it wasn't until she heard the noises that she truly felt afraid. Every night, around 2 a.m., she'd hear it. A soft, rhythmic thump, 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 coming from his basement. One night, curiosity got the better of her. She peeked through the fence into his backyard and saw him, standing by the basement door, staring at her. His hand slowly reached for the doorknob, and then he grinned. The next morning, the police raided his home. What they found was beyond horrifying. A hidden underground room filled with missing persons' belongings. Her neighbor had been a serial killer all along. Olivia had always kept her curtains drawn at night. It was a habit, something she did without thinking. But one night, she forgot. And that was the night she saw him, A face, pale, sunken eyes, watching her from the neighbor's window. She gasped, stumbling back. But when she looked again, the window was empty. Shaking, she convinced herself it was just a trick of the light. Until the messages started appearing, scratched into the glass of her own window. I see you. She moved out the next day. But sometimes, she still feels like she's being watched. They say you should always be friendly with your neighbors. But how well do you really know them? The people next door, the ones you smile at in passing, they might be hiding something. If you enjoyed these bone-chilling true horror stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more terrifying tales. And remember, the scariest monsters aren't always strangers. Sometimes, they live right next door.